All right, we're out here this morning. It's freezing. Somehow Josh talked me into coming out here to shoot. It's like next to zero. We're gonna shoot a small ladder with the H1000, 156 Bergers, and 210M primers in the 6.5 PRC. So we'll walk through load development on this. I've got it half zeroed. I threw 2 ciders down there. They were 58 grains, and it's actually a decent 2-shot group. But we're gonna go ahead and do this ladder. I do have a GoPro down there, so it should collect all of the shots, provided the cold weather doesn't interfere. And it is, like I said, next to zero. All right, so that was 57.1 grains of H1000. We're gonna work up in 3/10 increments, and we'll end at 58.9 as long as we don't hit pressure, and I don't anticipate we will. But we've got 2 shots of each. We're gonna go down and mark the target and continue. All right, so we got those marked, and we only got one of those velocities. The lab radar doing its normal thing is 2909. We're gonna go up to 57.4. That was 29.57. $29.42. We'll go mark. All right, we got the 57.4 marked. Had quite a bit of vertical. I don't really like what it did, so hopefully this will get in line. 57.7 is where we're at now. $29.83. $29.61. We'll go mark those. All right, now we're at 58, which was what we did the ciders with. The 57.7 is kind of coming in, so hopefully this will continue. Lab radar didn't get it. It's just awesome. $29.76. That first one I pulled a little bit high and left, not much, probably not even a quarter minute, but I did not do a perfect pull. We'll go mark this. All right, we got 58.0 marked up there. I'm gonna guess that's probably where where the load's gonna be. The mirage has been pretty bad this whole morning because of the snow. It seems to be getting pretty pretty bad. It's getting worse. But the wind is blowing right up the valley. I'm not seeing, well, that 58.0 is not, it doesn't have vertical, which is good, but this is 58.3. We're going to keep going here. We got a miss and a 29.98. Go mark those. All right, you got 58.6 here. It's 30.37. $3,007. Oh, we'll go mark those. All right, we're at 58.9 now. 30.39. 30.34. Okay, so those two shots. I know it's only two shots, but they had pretty good ES, and they were in line with one of the lower charges. That's it for today. We'll go down to the target, we'll talk about it, and then probably what we're going to do is load up 58.1, 58.2, somewhere in there, and do a seating depth test. That'll be the next move. All right, so here's the results of today's ladder test, and I will quickly walk through this even though it's 0 degrees out. This kind of shows why I prefer two shots. I know there's a lot of guys, there's at least one or two that I respect a lot that do one shot increments, one shot ladders, and it works for them, but I like to see a little bit bigger part of the picture. And you can see the 57.4 right there had a huge vertical, and the 57.1 did as well. Now it's possible if statistically there would be some times when those two bottom shots wouldn't be in the group, and then you would have that 57.1 and 57.4 right there, which may look like they have a good vertical, and you may want to run or explore that load. But when you shoot those extra, you see that the vertical on those were horrible. Okay, what I typically see is as I go up the ladder, the vertical tunes out or goes away. And that's what I'm really looking for, and I want a little bit more of the picture. Now obviously if you shot 3, you'd see even more of the picture, but in my experience the 3 doesn't give you any additional data, especially when you look at the big picture of what we're looking for. Okay, then you got the 57.7 here. It's still got vertical, and then you've got those two that aren't labeled. Those were 58, those were siders. And then you've got the two 58.0s, which are right in line with those essentially. And then you got the 58.3. This is where we're going to focus on really quick. Now the ES from the collected data, the lab radar was kind of flaking out, but the ES from the collected data is not great. But you can see we had very little very little vertical. We did have a little bit of horizontal, but we do have a slight wind, which is definitely going to cause some of that. Or actually probably most of it. And then we've got the 58.6, and we got vertical again, and then we got that 58.9, which had a good ES, but it's far away from the rest of the bullets. All right, this morning what we're going to do is we're going to shoot another small mini ladder. I don't know if I'd really call it a ladder, but after looking at that target yesterday, that 58.9 grains of H1000 was too good to just flat out ignore. My previous PRCs wouldn't hit that without being right on the verge of pressure or even over pressure. So I wasn't expecting to be able to shoot that. So what I've done is I've loaded up 58.9, 59.1, and 59.3. I've got a couple siders down there on the target. I've made some scope adjustments to make sure that we keep these on paper, or try to make sure we keep these on paper, and they should be. So we're gonna go ahead and shoot these two, go mark it, and then I'm looking to see if there's a second higher node and if we'll be able to shoot it without being in pressure. And then we'll make a decision and go with seeding depth test at whichever powder charge I determine to be the best. Okay. Chronograph said 3078. .3076. I don't remember what those were yesterday, but they were very, very small. Extreme spread yesterday as well. So we'll go down and mark it and keep going. All right, we got those two marked, and I should note that we have a little bit more wind today than we did yesterday, which was the last time we shot out here. It's not much, but it is enough at 800 yards to move the bullets horizontally, so I'm gonna have to take that in consideration. But that had no vertical to speak of, so we're gonna go up 2 tenths here. That was actually 3046. .3070. Okay, we'll go mark the target. All right, so one of those was right in line with the 2 tenths lower, and the other one was about 1.5 inches or 2 inches lower, which is still sub quarter minute. It does appear that there's going to be a node here. It's super cold. It was super cold yesterday, 0 degrees, which for me is cold. I don't know, a lot of you guys listening or watching might be subjected to colder temperatures, but I'm not a big cold weather fan. In any case, it's 15 degrees today, or 13 or 14, whatever it is. So I do worry that these might be a little hot. I'm not seeing any pressure signs, but I am worried that they may be a little hot when the temperatures warm up. .3095. .3085. Okay. We'll go mark those and we'll talk about the target. Let's talk about this rifle real quick. This has been just a pain. I really don't know what else to say. So this whole deal started as that 6.5 Psalm that I was doing the vlog on. It was shooting super great. The barrel sped up. I was struggling to get it back in tune and never really did. And then all of a sudden it started getting pressure signs. I backed the charge off, backed the charge off, backed the charge off, still getting pressure signs. I couldn't figure it out. In the middle of all of that, I swapped from the Ruckus GA Hunter to this, which was a long action, to this Ruckus XM Ultralight. I even sent that barrel off, got it set back, rechambered. The problem still was there. Right now it's sitting on the bench. I might mess with it later, but in any case, I ordered a pre-fit 6.5 PRC, and I went ahead and reamed it out with Alex Wheeler's reamer so that we could hopefully avoid some of those PRC issues we've been having with the skinny chambers and not being able to size. Originally, I had this sitting in a Mesa Precision stock. We did a review on that, and now I've got it sitting in a Macmillan A3, which is my favorite stock from Macmillan. And of course, we got the Maven RS5 on it. I have used this ruckus enough to know that the ultralight is going to be my favorite Defiance action for hunting. It's a good balance between weight and some of the features we need. Like the GA Hunter is just a little bit on the heavy side, which is still an awesome action. And the Anti-X was just a little bit clunky, for lack of a better word, cycling, because of how much weight was saved in the bolt and stuff. Great action for people who want ultra lightweight and don't shoot as much as I do, or maybe shoot as much as a lot of us long-range shooters do. There's nothing wrong with it other than I think this is a better balance. And I'm really liking the XM for short 6.5s. I think the 7mm with big bullets and 300 WSM, they're still a little bit long for the XM, but for 6.5 PRC, 6.5 SAUM, the Sherman shorts in 6.5, this is probably the best action you can get for that, or one of the best actions that you can get for that. I will be doing a review on it. You'll be seeing a lot of it as I shoot it, but I really like it. It's very smooth. The only thing that you'll have to consider if you do buy an ultralight is these mounting distances. You'll have to check with Defiance. They're different depending on whether you get short, the XM, or a long action. But the XM works great for most scopes. Very smooth. I love it. It's a good action, but as we shoot it more and more, you'll see more and more of it, and like I said, we'll have a review on it eventually. But let's go ahead and go down and mark that target and talk about it. All right, here we go at the target. So you can see there seems to be a node. It's a little bit smaller than I like at 58.9 to 59.1, and then that 59.3 got some vertical that I don't think was caused by the conditions. Pretty confident it was not caused by the conditions. But so it appears that we have a node right around 58 to 58.1, and then right around 59. So I think we'll do some seeding depth testing at one of those and make a decision based off of that.